I want to start off this moment with two things. First, I want to let y'all look at me, and you're looking at the host of the Lady Nakia Wright show. I'm going to have my own radio show starting every Thursday in April at 8 o'clock p.m.
Chill music.
You want me every Thursday. I'll be every Thursday, but I'll be pulling on y'all for your wisdom and your strength to join me at the table. Come on now. I want to start off this moment with two things. First, I want to let y'all look at me, and you're looking at the host of the Lady Nakia Wright show. I'm going to have my own radio show starting every Thursday in April at 8 o'clock p.m.
Chill music.
You want me every Thursday. I'll be every Thursday, but I'll be pulling on y'all for your wisdom and your strength to join me at the table. Come on now.
Happy Thursday, yes! Woo! I'm so excited. Welcome to the Lady Nakia Wright Show, a life reimagined, where Thursdays just got hotter from 8 to 9 o'clock p.m. If you're joining via WLVS Online, welcome. Please invite your friends. I hope that you're hosting a watch party. I feel like I'm just that special. If you're online, please share with your social media audience. It gives me great joy and so much excitement and anticipation to come before you every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. We're a couple of months in. This feels like a commitment. I feel like we should have some type of commitment ceremony. I'm almost feeling as if it's like, okay, so I buy a lot of nice things. You know, I do. I have a lot of labels that you would call labels. But there's nothing more exciting and fulfilling than paying for something that costs $9.99 on Amazon and putting it on, and it look better than the $350 item you feel that you have on. It feel like you should do a theme song dance. I'm feeling like an Amazon. I got my money worth purchase theme dance going on every Thursday at 8 o'clock. That's how excited I feel. Every woman that's following me and you paid $10 for a dress on Amazon and it was the bomb and you felt like you just snatched an amazing blessing from God, give me a heart. Shout me out in my comment section. You know exactly what I feel like. We have an amazing show today. I cannot wait to introduce you to a woman that's part of my tribe who makes me look good. But before we get started, I want to just, again, welcome you. If you're joining via social media, please share this with your audience. Today, we're going to be targeting the audience of those who have their own business, those who have a dream inside of them, and you want to know how to take the next step. A young lady that by the name of Traci Baker will be joining me, and she'll share with you her steps. And it's my heart's desire that something in you will perk up and come alive, and you will make the dream that's inside of you, you will bring it to pass. I love sharing dream stories. I love sharing somebody's first moment. I love sharing a story where you went after what it is that was placed in you with everything that you got. So today is going to be one of those shows. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my dream team. If you follow us on all our venues, you know that we just hosted our monthly Life of Books, which is an online book club, just a few days ago. And the amazing Claire Summers was our guest. Her book is called The Bomb Life. And when I tell you, we had so much excitement sharing Claire's story. Her book is a definite for everyone's library. I mean, her tenacity, her wisdom, and her ambitions were set so high when all odds were against her. And she persevered no matter how many no's she got, she persevered until her dream finally came to pass. And now she's living a life that she couldn't even imagine. She truly should be one of our honorees for the Life Reimagined segment. So join us. If you haven't seen it, please log on to our website at www.awomansvoicematters.net and view that show. It was a very, very good show. And listen, social media was down last week. Instagram was down. All of you guys who are really Instagram famous and social media hits, your livelihood was stopped for almost 24 hours. It is so important that you have a website and another mean of getting your word out of who you are and what you do. If nothing else would perk you and motivate you, social media being down should have done so. So listen, if you need a website, contact Traci Baker. She'll be our guest tonight. She will do it for you. See, let me tell you something. I'm answers today. Make sure you get your website up. Make sure that social media is not your only means of getting who you are and what you do out. You have to have multiple streams of marketing. So make sure that you go to our website. That's how we got on this conversation anyway, at www.awomansvoicematters.net, and you'll see the Life of Books latest segment with Claire Summers. We're taking August off. I don't want to tax our ladies during the summer. Our next Life of Books will take place on Saturday, September the 28th, and the book that we're going to be reading is What Everybody Is Saying. It's a book that an ex-FBI agent wrote to speed read people. Let me tell y'all something. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with. In addition to reading this book and our spirit of discernment, let me tell you something. We're going to be spiritual warriors. You're not going to be able to tell us now. I'm going to be sitting in church and analyzing everybody from their body language with this book. Let me stop. Bishop going to be like, nope, y'all not doing that book this month. It's going to make you out of control. You are not reading that book. But if you want to join us, please make sure that you purchase the book. Mommy, if you're watching, I'm not buying your book. Go to Amazon and order your own book. It's called What Everybody Is Saying. You got it, Ma? Make sure you order your book, ma'am, because I'm not ordering your book. Join us. We invite you to join us online and share your comments. It's a community, and our only goal in this online book club in the world of technology is bringing back the power of the pages. Reading is so necessary. Reading expands your thinking. It births creative ideas. It does something that technical, all these gadgets that we have can't do. There's nothing more powerful than turning the pages of a book and writing a note in the page. And 5 years from now, you picking up that book, and your handwriting in that book will speak volumes to where you are in your life. I promise you, try it. Just give us 60 days. If it don't work, go back to your gadgets. But if it opens up a side of you that you forgot about, join us on the journey. Remember, Saturday, September 28th is our next online book club. We welcome you to join us. Yeah, so many exciting things happening. I don't know if you know this, but we're located in the heart of Washington, D.C. at Listen Vision. Shout out to Listen Vision Studios. You guys make dreams come true. I am honored to be a part of the Listen Vision family, and we're right here in the heart of Washington, D.C. Yes, Jeremy! Yay! That was the visionary, Jeremy Beaver, who makes dreams come true. He's so great. He's actually living out his dreams these days. He's all over the TV, and he's all over in the newspapers, front and center, and it gives me great joy. I give him high accolades every chance I get because I know how hard he worked to manifest the Hip Hop Museum and all the things that he loves. So I try to give him high accolades to remind him that you are living in the days that you thought would never happen. So it gives me great honor to be a part of the Listen Vision family. And as I sit here in Washington, D.C., and I was traveling here, I was reminded of how many lives was lost on the streets of Washington, D.C. And I'm grateful for somebody like Jeremy who will let you come in and share your heart and your emotions through music. And he doesn't realize this, but this studio is saving lives. And I have to thank you so very much, Jeremy, that you've saved so many lives in Washington, D.C. And I will say to you, if you have a dream to rap and sing or create a podcast or have your own show, come on. Join the WLVS family. I promise you, it'll be a commitment you won't regret. So, without further ado, we're going to take a quick break. And when I return, my co-host for the next 45 minutes will be the creative designer, graphic creator, the woman who makes branding look so easy, the one and only Traci Baker. 60 seconds, we'll be right back. Yeah!
I want to start off this moment with two things. First, I want to let y'all look at me, and you're looking at the host of the Lady Nakia Wright show. I'm going to have my own radio show starting every Thursday in April at 8 o'clock p.m.
Chill music.
You won't be every Thursday. I'll be every Thursday, but I'll be pulling on y'all for your wisdom and your strength to join me at the table. Come on now. I want to start off this moment with two things. First, I want to let y'all look at me, and you're looking at the host of the Lady Nakia Wright show. I'm going to have my own radio show starting every Thursday in April at 8 o'clock p.m.
Chill music.
Welcome back to the Lady Nakia Wright Show, A Life Reimagined. Happy Thursday to you. It gives me great joy and honor and excitement to be before you. It is my heart's desire that you tune in each and every week at 8 o'clock p.m. If you haven't done so, please share this with your social media audience. Please text your friends and your family and your coworkers and tell them, hey, this is an exciting moment that's taking place each week. Each week a fresh word is given. Answers are placed in the earth and they are birthed right here on the Lady Nakia Wright Show. Yes. Charmy, give Traci a bell. We need a bell. There is a custom of the Lady Nakia Wright Show. Whenever we say something that we are excited about, we ring the bell. Ring the bell, Traci. Yes, that is a necessary component to the show. I did not do this earlier, but please forgive me. I have to give all honor and glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. If it was not for him saving me and keeping me and rescuing me from me, I don't know where I would be. So I am grateful that he still chooses me. I am yet still alive, and I'm grateful for it. And to the most amazing husband that ever walked the face of this earth, thank you, baby. I hope that you are watching. I know that you are on pop-up duties. I hope that she is not. Let me tell you something. She runs him. Like, she tells him, I've never seen a woman make my husband move so fast. This young lady will make him run, jump, say no, say yes. I mean, like, he's like a schizo with Malia around. She runs his life. So, baby, I hope that you're enjoying your pop-up duties right now. I love you so very much, sir, and thank you for allowing this moment to take place. So let's get to it. Today, my circle of influence, you guys have seen me call them on my social media page, my dream team, is so very important to me. In life, I feel like this. If I have to tell you everything I want, I might as well do it myself. So I love when I can just share the sentiments of my heart and people will catch it and walk out the vision and produce it. Traci is the newest member of my team. How long have we been together? Has it been 2 years?
Not has it been? No, I don't think so.
We're two conferences in.
Are you really?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it's like flew by.
yeah, so
it
we're
has flown by.
yeah. So Traci and I, she don't realize
Yes.
it, but we kind of old. We're 2 years in, and I found her. I'm grateful for the connects that I've made on social media. I found her on social media, and from the very first time I met her, we connected. I shared with her what I want, how I wanted it, and she produced it so much so I was like, oh, this till death do us part, Traci. If you don't know her, she is a creative director, a brand stylist, a graphic designer, and I believe the creative director of the
Officialist and co-curator. We merged, so we're partners in the magazine now, and illustrator. I illustrated a children's book that was featured in Essence twice.
Listen, I have amazing people in my world. She's off the chain. And listen, she does so much for so many people. But before, I can't tell her story better than her. Traci Jackson Baker, for the very first time with the lady Nakia Wright on my show, introducing you to some, presenting you to others. Share with us who you are and what you do.
Well,
Yes.
I am Traci Baker Jackson.
Woo, 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 woo.
I am too loud. I'm very loud, so I think that once I get into it, you're gonna be like back up, back up. My sister tells me this all the time. She's always like, you're way too loud for anybody. So I'm a graphic designer. I started off. Well, I am an artist. First of all, I'll say this. That was my major in college. I was an fine arts major with a minor in marketing. I started off as a law student. So that's how my parents, when you hear the journey, you'll know that I'm really an artist. I started off as a pre-law major, and I decided that the reading was too much. So then I switched. My dad was like, well, what are you going to do with all these classes? So I switched to business. Then I decided that was too much. So it trickled to marketing.
The heart attack you probably gave your parents.
Right. And then the marketing stuck. However, my older son's father was a basketball player, and much like many young basketball players, I was a cheerleader, and we got together, and he decided David Falk, in his defense, was his agent. So in our minds, we were thinking he was going to go to the NBA. So we were like, why wait to have kids? Why wait for marriage? All that. You're going to have it now. So I did, and my senior year, or going into, no, it was my senior year. Junior year, got pregnant, 21st birthday. That was my 21st birthday present. So the joke was,
Wow.
my parents went to Mount St. Mary's to pick him up so we can go out to dinner, and they were like, this is the thanks you give us. So yeah.
Wow.
But I will say they were like, well, you're going to have to finish school. So I ended up having him in December, which was Christmas break. So, and I went back to school in January, and everybody was like, well, what are you going to do? So I didn't want to wait another semester, so my dad walked me into these art classes, and my teachers were all like, I don't know how you're going to figure this out, but we're going to let you kind of feel your way. And I started taking painting classes, and that's when I discovered that that's what I was. All my teachers were just, they were completely fascinated with how I was able to figure it out, and that kind of is what started me on the path. So fast forward to design, I was working at Bloomingdale's with Tory Burch. Like when she first came out, she had this position called like a liaison position. So my ex-husband and I had just gotten into a horrible accident. And it's funny, well, not really funny, because the accident is the same party that Chris and Monique, when Monique Samuels was talking about this huge party that they had in Ashburn. So I did the decorations.
Monique from the Housewives of Potomac?
Housewives of Potomac. Mm-hmm. So I did the decorations for her party. Then we were working on it all night long, and I guess he was just too tired, was doing way too much. And we ended up getting into an accident.
Wow.
So we were in the process of moving our family to Atlanta because he was into music. He actually was signed a Bad Boy, so that's another story.
Basketball player,
yeah.
rapper, R&B. I mean, Traci. I feel like we should be doing a Lifetime movie.
It sounds bad, but it's not. It's not really that bad. But that wasn't my path. My path was to find me.
Yes.
For me to figure this out on my own, which is and I'm happy with that.
Amen.
But with the Tory Burch, I walked in and never had done sales, and I excelled really well. I ended up being like #1 in sales at the store at Bloomingdale's because everybody, like, I still had, my husband was in music, so I still had all this jewelry and things. So when people walk in there, they see me, they're like, we'll have what she has.
Yes.
So I would start off in the shoe department and sell the whole entire store. So then, of course, I was invited to like different events with her. I did a painting for her. I designed a pair of shoes. I was going to work with her, and then one of my friends stopped me, and he was like, they're hiring graphic designers at the Security and Exchange Commission. I was like, I don't know anything about computers. I can't do that. And he was like, well, the salary is really good. They're going to be paying you more than what she could ever pay you, which was true. It was like double the salary she was going to pay me. And it's like how you were talking about like the divine walk and when you're on a path, because when I got the interview, I was telling the man, I was like, I'm not going to get this job, but I'll sit here and I'll entertain you, but I can't do the job. And he was like, well, there is something on your resume that I liked. He liked the fact that I was a teacher. And I was walking into this department. I did get the job, and it was all men.
Yes.
And I was just like, and they kind of knew because I was very transparent. Like, I've never done this before. So I watched Lynda.com.
What made you decide to go on an interview for a job that you didn't think that you were going to get?
My father. He was like, just give it a try. Just give it a shot. Like, they always wanted me to do this. And I just never wanted to do it. I was like, this is a man's job. Like, I probably, when I was younger, I don't think that I ever wanted a job. Like, when you're little, you see TV, you think life is going to be great. So I just grew up thinking I was going to have this great life. And now 40 plus, you're like, this is not your life. And you quickly got to unspin it.
How about that?
Figure it out. Yeah. So I've done that. But I got into design from that job. And once I took the job, I ended up, within 6 months, like, I just over watching everybody's shoulder, I ended up becoming the lead in the department, and I was like, all the work ended up coming through me, and I ended up doing like our annual reports, like everything that went out of the office, like mine was the last hand to touch it before it left. So
a position you wasn't qualified for, you
Yes.
became pretty much overseer over everything.
I did.
Amazing.
I did.
Wow.
But with that, it's like the ups and the downs. All the men were watching, and like my what do you call it when you're in the government? The head supervisor spent 10 years. I don't remember.
The chief.
Yes. So he didn't like the idea that everybody was bypassing him. So that kicked me out. When it was time to renew the contract, they got rid of our contracting company because they were fighting so hard. Like, we're not going to fire her. She's done nothing wrong. So new company came in. They quickly got me out, and then I was left with nothing. And because nobody would hire me, I made too much money as a graphic designer, way over what anybody was paying.
So that's why you charged me the price points you charged me. You used to making a lot of money.
I don't even charge her. Like, she'd be the first one. As soon as she starts to wiggle, I'm like, okay.
What are you charging me for, Traci? Why I gotta pay all this money? Break it down for me.
Yes, and everybody says that, but honestly, it's like the time that you put in. Like,
Yes.
for some things, like some of the things with you, like, if it's 2 or 3 over, like, of course, I don't charge
Absolutely.
you for everything, or I'll half price this or half price that, because like once you get into the rhythm, it's like less time, it takes less effort. But some people, they'll get, and it's even with new people, I spend way more time than what I charge, because it's just like you don't know the person, so it's hard to pull out something if you have no idea. And some people just aren't as clear with their vision, and they expect us to be musicians and like just pull out magic. And everyone in hindsight, and I say this because even when you say you have no idea, like if you're thinking about something and you're focused on it for so long, you have some type of vision. as to what you want. Like, you might not be able to articulate it. So I always ask my clients, like, show me something that you like give me an example. Like, we cannot just, I have to have some direction. Otherwise, I just won't work with you because I can't do it. Yeah.
The one thing that attracted me to Traci is the fact that she listens. In graphic designing and in brand management, one of the key qualities to me is that you're an excellent listener. And you want to hear every aspect of who we are, what our dream is, what our desire is, what our goals are, and you feel like you emerge with the vision and you produce what it is that we tell you. I think that's a great quality. Even though most days, because we have Canva, I do feel like I'm a graphic designer. I do. But nobody
I'll
can.
jump in right now, and as I see them roll through, sometimes I'll be like, why wouldn't she just
Yeah, hush, I know. Listen, I know she cringed sometimes. Like, why did she just do that on Canva? Why did she not call me and ask me to do this? Yes, my girls are behind. Shami and Laura behind the scenes, and don't talk about my girl like that. Don't talk about her like that. But I know in the era where you try to cut corners and save money, but the truth of the matter is, if you are branding and you want to get the consistency of your work and who you are out there, visual attraction is what people see. And if you don't, you're competing with so much on social media. If you don't have what it takes to visually captivate someone in a second, you'll get bypassed in just a stroll. And you have that ability to create something that captures undivided attentions, and that takes creativity.
Thank you.
And she does so much. Share with us how you are also a brand stylist.
Yes, I do. I work with several brands. Like, and it's really funny as I say this because I was just having this conversation with one of my, with Kiani, my partner in the magazine, and we were talking about, because like with Instagram becoming so big, her thing is always like, well, what are you doing? Well, what are you doing? And it's like, you're not really doing anything. Like, I really attribute it to be, you really have to stay on top of it. So like, I manage other people's social media. I have 2 or 3 people that I work with in addition to Kiani, and I try to balance what we're doing with the Officialist. So we're getting ready to revamp that. I work with Paul Wharton, who is one of my clients as well. Like, he's like my brother client. Like, we toggle back and forth. One week we might not be working with each other. The next week we're back on, because our lines have kind of gotten a little blurred. But I pretty much help him with all of his branding stuff as well.
And I believe that's how I connected with you. I follow him on social media. I saw something that you did for him, and I absolutely loved it. And that's how I believe I became connected with you, through his work.
And that's why we go back and forth, because we have a love-hate. Like, he gets so mad at me, but he's like, fine, let's try it again. But and I also, like I said, I've illustrated a children's book, a coloring book, Curly Girls, Love Your Curls, Lexi P. I'm sure people have heard of her. So I illustrated that book, and I also illustrated her products, which are in Sally's.
Wait, ring the bell.
Yeah.
That's great. Yes. Something to celebrate.
I've done that. I've worked with a lot of people. Like, when people ask me to run down the list, like sometimes I get, depending on who it is, I'll do it. But otherwise, I'm like, I feel
she
so
gets
far
to pick.
past
Basically,
it.
what she's saying is, I get to pick and choose my clients at this point in my life, because most of my clients are up here. So if you're not up here, then I don't really have to work with you if I don't want to.
Not saying
That's what I got. Like,
not saying that. But I feel like, which is a good point, because I was just talking to someone about this as well. Like, when you're in a career path like I am, like, it's several phases that you go through until you try to figure your way out. Like, you start off freelancing is what I'll say. You start off freelancing, and then which is kind of like being a contractor, because you're like one step away from having a boss, because you still have to answer to several other people. Then you kind of segue into the area that I'm in, where you're managing everything on your own, but you still kind of like, everything is like a little ecosystem, and heavily you got to make sure that everything stays balanced, to the point where you get to the phase that I'm at now is like, what am I going to do to grow and build? I have these 2 boys that I love to death, but my children are both artists, So I know from my parents that for at least the next 10 years, I'm going to be taking care of them. So I have to figure out this way because boys are very different than girls are. I feel like I've never, even though I've been an artsy my whole life, like I've always figured out a way. Like I'm not going to stress too much because I'm going to figure it out. They all stress and look at me like, Mom, how are we going to figure it out? Like,
Be my answer.
Yes.
Yes.
So now I'm to the point to whereas I'm ready to delegate a little bit more, hire some people to work with me.
Yes,
while
staff.
I elevate
Thank you, Jesus.
to the contracting level. So that's where I'm looking at now, getting all my certifications in order. And going after larger contracts.
Yes.
So that I can focus on.
Don't you ever kick me to the curb?
No, I will still
or
keep
tell
my
me you're
core.
too busy.
No, I'll
or,
still
no.
keep my core.
Yeah.
Because I still want to have the balance. Yes, you're included in that.
Yes.
Because
Let me tell you something. Listen, we're the most consistent people in your life.
Yeah.
So we pay the bills.
Yes.
The one thing that I love about Traci is not, in addition to her being a graphic designer and being creative in her own right, graphic designers to me are like their own separate category. Most of them are, they're kind of different. They're artsy. The stigma is attached to artsy people. But I love the fact that she is consistent. And the one thing that she does that I appreciate so much is she always gives back. And she believes in women's empowerment. She believes in pouring into other people's lives. Just recently, I have my mentee, and who would be considered in the age range of the millennials. And she's working out her brand and she's so driven and motivated and on top of what it is that she wants. And I brought Traci into our relationship and I said, Traci, she has a great thing going. She doesn't have a lot of money, but she has a dream that I believe that would be so great. She just needs somebody to push her in the right direction and give her the answers that we had to search for on our own. I believe that when you have already accomplished some things, create a path that somebody else can follow. And I'm grateful that she's giving back. She believes in our next generation, and she's working with me to make this young lady's dream come alive. And I just truly believe that when you have a dream that's come to pass for you, that you should make ways for other people.
Absolutely.
And I believe the Officialist is one of those avenues.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So and that's where we're at now.
It's a magazine. Officialist is a magazine.
Or a city guide for natives, as we like to call it, because we don't want to call it a traditional magazine. We're straying away from that. We're going to so it's primarily online. So we'll start there. It's like if you want to look for us, it's online. So we're gonna do like quarterly events, like every other month. And then that's when we'll give out the hard copies by way of a newspaper.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
We're taking it from a whole new angle. But our goal is to focus on empowering women, entrepreneurs, like both of us, myself and Kiani, are two female entrepreneurs, and we're constantly like thinking of new things or thinking of new projects and things like that. So the part of that is to be a catapult and a kind of like a vessel for other people. So I can't really say, because we're working on an idea, but I don't really want to say too much, but without giving it away. But she encouraged me to talk about it so that we don't kind of leave it by the fireside as we do.
Words keep things alive, so
Yes,
keep it
they
alive.
do.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So by way of a podcast. So we want to start really giving recognition and letting people know just the different people who they can interact with and connect with here in our area.
I love
that are doing so many different things that we don't really know, we wouldn't know about because they're not advertised. It's not really out there in your face, like all the graphic designers and the web builders or the people that are like heavy into coding, or even when it's like the chefs, or we just want to really give back to the city and really show other people like all the different parts of this area to start with that are just so great that we don't even know about.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, listen, it sounds like you're going to be a bridge for entrepreneurs. And I think
I'm
that's...
hoping so.
Yes. Listen, I believe it to be so. You heard it first right here in the Lady Nakia Wright show that the Officialist is going to be a bridge with a podcast connecting the city together.
We are.
And let me tell you something, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And you guys will be a contact that people will go to whenever they need a fresh idea or a new idea. I love that.
Yes.
You have to be able to be creative enough in this society to keep reinventing yourself.
I believe that too. I mean, constantly. That's kind of why I think Instagram and social media is so powerful, because a lot of people I watch people do it all the time. Like, and I feel like I always say if I can do it, which is why I always put out a lot of positivity, which started off as just little mental notes for myself, and then other people just kind of caught on to it. And that's one of the things that my friends are always talking about. They're like, you kind of made yourself into this whole person that we didn't even think that you could have been.
Come on. Yes. I love that.
But I do encourage that. And I see other people and it's okay to ask me questions too, because I feel like people tend to shy away from that, or just because they know me. There are a couple of projects or partnerships that I'm going to be doing attached directly with social media. It's like I hate to say influencer, but moving into that whole influencer level.
Yes, influencer.
With the contest, I'll get like a lot of, if I put out a contest or let somebody know, or let the masses know something, like people are always in my DM or texting me and asking me side questions. I'm like, it's right there. Like I can't, I never said who I could give it to, who I couldn't get. So I try to keep it open like that. But I just find that it's very funny that people tend to look at you a little bit differently, now. And likes or, how many followers you have doesn't really mean anything or translate into real life if you're not monetizing it.
I always say this. If your followers, if you have 1 million followers, but you don't have $1 million, it really doesn't mean very much at all.
Right.
I'm not after the
Right.
followers. I'm after the income. But I appreciate the fact that social media is a great free marketing tool. But I get so bothered when I see people make it their life.
They do.
Because while you spend a lifetime entertaining us online, the people around you that live and breathe and wake up with you, you're not present in their lives. And it's my heart's desire that we just find balance in the social media era, which is why I do the online book club. Like, the reading a book takes you away from social media, and I think it's so very necessary to do so. I believe that if God has an intended purpose for you, that is going to come. If you obsess over the purpose, you might miss what's around you because you're obsessing over it so much that you miss the obvious of what it takes to be a success.
It lets you hit the reset. Like, because you get so caught up in the monotony of your everyday routine, like you almost forget about all the other things that are out there. I'm reading, what is that? It's Idillionaire. What is her book called? Manifest Now.
Okay.
It took me literally, and all my friends will be like, here she goes talking about this book again. But I read it in like 3 days because I was listening to it on Audible, and I keep reading it and keep listening to it and keep listening to it because the message is so deep. Like,
what's the message?
Focus only on the things that you want. Like I'm one of those people who I can literally, if I focus on something, if I went through my whole life and I could pinpoint to you almost why everything happened. Like when people say that, they don't understand that this is like a real thing, and it really is. Like I know how hard I used to focus on things, and every single thing that I focused on when I was a child, down to the people that I wanted to date, to the type of person, I've done it. So now I'm kind of stuck in this area because I know that when you're little, you don't really think about what your life is going to be like after your parents' age. And this is about my parents' age right now.
We're there now.
Yeah. Right.
To our kids, we're actually old.
Right. So it's just like now I'm just, I'm like, okay, all right. So, now that I figured that out, like what is the game plan from here on out? And it's just like pushing forward. Like I literally have cut my whole circle of people because it's down to like people won't let you change. Like they don't, if you're not on that same wavelength or wave level on that same path, like they'll try to stop you because they don't want you to change, and if it's something that's in you, and that's why I encourage like all of my clients, like what is it that you really want to do? Like what is it, how far, like 10 years from now, like is this something that you still want to do? Is this something like, where do you see this growing, or what are the different avenues that you can take? Because that's important. Like even because there are people around you that are constantly telling you what you cannot do. Like my father still sends me every day until I told him about this contract that I'm getting ready to start now. every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, he sent me an announcement for a list of graphic design jobs.
Yes, Dad. You are
every
serious
morning,
about
like
it.
clockwork. Every
Yes,
morning, yes.
I love it. The thing that I've realized is that, and I always say this to the ladies that I'm in covenant with, your tribe is important. The people that are your circle of influence that you around every day, look at them. If you don't see growth and change in their lives, that's exactly where you'll be in 5 years. Be around somebody who is strong in the areas that you're weak in. Be around somebody that can do what you can't do.
Right.
Be around somebody that believes in your impossibilities. Because with that type of influence around you, you'll never stop growing. You'll never stop achieving. And you become, it gives you the energy and the motivation to become who you know that you're called to be.
Absolutely, because that makes your circle of influence makes a big difference.
Oh my
in your
goodness.
Spirit and your morale and your direction, like people just don't.
Negative
it does.
Nancy's, don't have them around
They don't.
you. Let me tell you something. Somebody that don't dream, don't have them around you. Somebody that always see the negative in life, discard them from your life, because that's exactly what your life will look like.
Yes, someone who's always pointing out your faults, telling you what you did wrong, how you're always, anyone that says what you're always as the first couple of words out of their mouth.
Bye.
Yeah, you need to rethink that one.
Traci, if you have someone who wanted to be a graphic designer, who wanted to do all the aspects of what you're currently doing, if you were able to give them some tidbits of advice before they begin the journey, what would you say to them?
I would ask them, what is it that they really want to do? Like, I'm having this discussion with my 22-year-old right now. Like, if this is something, because you have to really love to do it, because your clients will drive you crazy. You'll get your feelings hurt every day because, everybody isn't going to. I've been very lucky to whereas 90% of the time, I know what people are going to like. Like, I'm very in tune with, like, as you said, with my clients. So if I give you, I almost set it up. I'll give you, especially with you, when I give you 3 examples, I already know which one you're going to pick. Like,
Yes. So the first advice, make sure you're passionate about it.
Yes, make sure, because you will end up chasing your tail, and you'll get so frustrated because it's easily something that you can get easily frustrated with, because everybody's people tend to think that graphic design is like the bottom of the totem pole, when really it's the part that holds everything all together.
Let me tell you something. It's the key to making someone a success. And another thing that I'll add to what it is that you said is, it will be great to follow somebody that's already paved the way.
Yes.
Standing on the shoulders of someone who's already done what it is that you want to do makes sweatless victories in the areas that you want to walk in.
Absolutely.
So I do believe in mentorship. I do believe in following trailblazers, people that is not afraid to tell you how they do what it is that they do.
Absolutely.
Because the what is pretty much easy to figure out. It's the how that many of us get stumped on.
And I'm always one, even when I put up posts about branding or things like that. Like, I'll even put on there, like, you can come to me or you can call me. But when I say that, I mean it with, like, don't, if you already have a designer working on your project, like, don't send me their projects and get me this, on the slide, or don't ask me for something whereas you have no intent, but you're just asking because you want to use it.
Because my time is money,
else.
basically,
Yes,
is what she's saying.
It is.
Share with us, Traci, how we can get in contact with you if we want to follow you on social media, because her page is extremely inspiring. She does drop wonderful tidbits that will bless your life. She cuss a little bit and stuff.
Sometimes. I think about you too. I'll be like, I do. Every time I do, I think about 2 people.
I hope letting the kid don't see this.
I do. I think about you and I think about my mother. And I already know. My mother is on for everything. But every time I'm like, ugh. And I always like, if I'll see like a drop, or if it's like, I'll leave it up for a few minutes and then I'll take it down, because I don't want her to judge me.
So
Don't
much.
judge me.
I don't judge you. Look, I tell everybody, I say, I love Jesus. Look, let me tell you something. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. But sometimes that cussing spirit is the last spirit to die. So I promise you I understand. And she's extremely open. I don't want, a lot of times we expect to go to somebody we don't know and get something for free. She won't overtax you, but don't expect to get this much wisdom and this much expertise for free. I do wish that many people will use her. Don't bombard her so much so that she can't do my stuff. But she's an excellent creative director. She's an excellent graphic designer. She does specialize in bringing people's dreams to pass. Traci, how can they find you on social media?
Traci Baker Jackson on Instagram. Traci with an I.
Traci with that.
It's the same thing. Traci at TBJ Brand for email. And my phone number is on my Instagram. It's 202-621-3047.
Yes. Bring your dreams to pass.
Yes.
Do it so much so loud and so boldly that people can't ignore it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Listen, time has gone by so fast. It's been a great hour with you all. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. It's my heart's desire that something throughout this hour has poked something in you, and that you will choose today to go after a dream, to go after a vision, to go after a promise. Be the trailblazer that your legacy needs. Be the answer that everyone around you is looking for. It's in you. Bishop, my pastor, says this all the time. He said, quiet doesn't produce success. If you want to be a success, be bold, be courageous, and be loud. If you don't know this, I am married to one of the greatest pastors that ever walked this earth. We have service every Sunday mornings. I invite you to join us at 10 o'clock a.m. Our address is 7001 Belch Drive in Forestville, Maryland. Please come out and worship with us. Please follow me on social media at Lady Nakia Wright. I look forward to welcoming you to the family. And next Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m., please join us. We're going to have Mika Woods in the house. Mika is the young lady who does the marriage panel with me, and her husband just renewed their vows in Paris. So she's coming with a few of her bridesmaids to share the journey of love that she took on these last couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to hearing her story and seeing her pictures. Invite your friends, invite your coworkers, join us on the journey. We thank you, be blessed, and share your good news with somebody this week. We'll see you next Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Yeah.
I want to start off this moment with two things. First, I want to let y'all look at me, and you're looking at the host of the Lady Nakia Wright show. I'm going to have my own radio show starting every Thursday in April at 8 o'clock p.m.
Start your music.